August 10th, and it's still real smoky. A lot of fires. Yeah, you can see the cavity there. So we're going down to do Michael's. I got to turn the water on, switch the water over. And then we're going to do some properties in Kalispell. Believe it or not, I'm down to 2 days in Kalispell. 2 days, 1 week, 3 days the next. And that's fucking insane. That's so great. I do well now. Well, like I always say, and you kind of forget about it as time goes on because it's gradual, but everything gets a lot easier towards the end of the season. You know, the grass has become more cooperative. I don't know what the deal is. It just gets a lot easier. Don't know. I won't take any more. Well, I might take some customers because there's a few that I want to get rid of. One guy that actually does laurels down here that we're going to be going past. Boy, I've been shaking the sands, getting rid of the culls. Boy, this has been a processing plant here, I'll tell you. But the one guy, old Paul, that motherfucker won't pay me. I mean, I can't imagine. They must have their power go out all the time. He owns a housing construction company, you know, and he's got a hot wife that had to show me her boobs when I knocked on the door. Pretty much. But he just won't pay. I mean, I'll send him a bill and a couple fawns there with their mama. Look at them. And $90, $360 a month, and he just won't pay it. He just refuses to pay the fucking thing. And I'm too busy to wonder how many times it's going to elapse before he decides to pay his bill. And he knows. You know, and with Venmo, you'd think that people would just say, oh, I got a bill. I try to do it like at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, so it's nice and easy for them. Just fucking pay that bill. Hey, here's a bitch here. If you think you can afford to do lawn care, there should have someone do your lawn care for you. There should be no hesitation paying it. If you're iffy and wondering and you can't really let that money go, then you don't have any business having lawn care. I got people that are ready to run out in front of traffic to pay me. So it kind of becomes a tough part of the job, you know. It does. But we are... So that's what I have going on today. Oh, then I got to come back up with the trailer and turn off the water flow at Michael's place. And then tomorrow morning, let's see. Oh, I might do... On my way through, yeah, that's what I'll do. On my way through tonight, I will go mow Brandy's place. That's a good idea. Go shut the water off and then go do Brandy's place. So it seems to be a relatively big day, but they never really are. I seem to handle them better than what I'm anticipating, and I think that's a good thing. I always prepare for the worst and expect the worst because of my PSTD. Yeah, so that's what I have going on. I was going to go on a spiel about something, but I think I may have forgot what that was about. Oh, man. Probably about life and my family. Holy shit. I was thinking about that stupid fucking Candace this morning about that mess. And I don't know why I get myself into such messes all the time. It's not like I'm dumb, although I was kind of dumb with Candace. I remember I was living in Hamilton with my brand new business. Just percolating very well. Just got her going pretty goddamn well. Got about everybody I could handle up there, you know. And here I met Candace on Match. And I don't give a shit about money. If you're making good, like she made good money and all of that. She was the inventory control manager at Boeing. And what it tells me more so is if you've had a job for a long time and it's a good job, it kind of shows, it's part of that resume deal. It kind of shows stability, you know, shows that you're stable. You know, you're not living in a single wide trailer that refuses to work and a government soak. We've been there. I remember Amy Ross had food stamps with those kids, and she'd make me go in to the store and buy the food so she didn't have to humiliate herself using the food stamps, if you can believe that. That's what you call power of the puss there. But anyway, back to Candace. You know, I went out there. I go out there on the weekends. Only because she worked. I remember I'd leave Thursday and I'd go out there and stay with her, and little did I know, I always thought that everybody, I know I've told this story a million times, but I always thought that everybody is coming to see me because she was a socializer. Her brothers and everybody had come, and lo and behold, they fucking basically lived at her house, you know. That's pretty fucking fucked up. That was a fucked up deal there. Then she had that little beautiful little granddaughter, Olivia, that I just thought the world of. She thought the world of me. Right out of the gate, I started calling her Petunia. And she was mad when I wouldn't call her Petunia. She was a 4-year-old little sweetheart. And when I'd leave, I'd always leave on a Sunday. And, you know, we kind of know, and it was a routine, we'd kind of know that I was getting ready to leave, and we'd end up sitting out in her love swing, made for two, and talk before I left. And I always had this really powerful feeling that, because Olivia didn't have shit really for a father. He was in dry out. He was doing good at that time, but the mom was a piece of shit. And I always felt really powerful, really, really powerful telling Candace, not overriding the family, because I'm new, but saying, you know what, we can be freaking goddamn role models for this little girl. I always thought that we could really show her the diagram of what it's like for stability. You know, both of us working, doing very well, both of us kind, both of us very friendly. Just showing her that you can work and you can have fun and life can be normal and beautiful. I always was very powerfully driven with that. And that's just ethically, I think. And boy, that fucking and I didn't want Candace's family there. You know, I didn't want to come home to my new house and have her two 57 and 58-year-old brothers there, along with their crazy, wild mom. And I didn't want them there, and I kind of had to pound my feet a little bit. Down, you know, me. That's I'm pretty soft, but I had to pound them enough. I had to beat on my chest enough to have Candace, God, tell those people that Lynn doesn't want you here. And holy fuck, if that didn't put a target on my back. That Candace's son, Justin, and what was her name, the girl's name, his girlfriend's name, she had a boy, Gunner. And I always called Gunner the G-Man. You know, Olivia was Petunia and Gunner was the G-Man. And that goddamn, here's kind of a sign. That goddamn Justin told Candace, she said, tell Lynn that we don't want him calling Gunner the G-Man. If there's going to be a nickname for him, we'll name him the nickname we desire. If you can believe that shit. Well, that was, you know, I'll tell you, more so than that was a jealousy thing. That was a jealousy thing more than anything, you know. That really was. But by me pounding my feet, not wanting those fucking people there, and they're homeless basically, Andy and Greg never punched a time clock. They never punched a fucking time clock. You know, they're just fly-by-night drifters, you know. One fall off a ladder and they're living with us for the rest of their life, and they're drug ease. And I mean, Andy, Greg was a beer-drinking fool, a lush, and he was, he had a lot of bad things going on with him. But Andy was a needle guy. Needle or whatever, pills or anything. Stuttering, stammering fool. But anyway, when I told them I didn't want him in there, when they knew I didn't want him in there, the target was put on my back, you know. And I'll never forget the day Rita died. Candace and I were just going into the grocery store, walking across the parking lot, going to the grocery store, and Chuck called and gave me the news, and that next goddamn morning, you know, just fucking befuddled like crazy, just beyond, you know. The morning after my sister's death, that worthless fucking Justin said, Lynn, I want to talk to you. Now, Justin was going to, if you can believe it, Justin was considering going to school to be a minister. This fucking druggy, dry out dude. Now, in ministry, too, I think that if you're going to be a minister, you have to have good ethic, heart, and soul, too. You know, you have to be good heart and soul, too. There's so many crooked ministers out there. It's insane. Thieves, you know, fraudulent ministers that take money from the kitty, from the pot. So here you got Justin. He said to me, he said, here the day after my sister died, he said, Lynn, I want to talk to you outside. Come on outside. Kind of authoritatively for as little as he knew me. And I figured he was going to condole me since my sister died less than 12 hours ago. And he knew that. And we went outside, and well, I'll tell you what, that Justin grabbed one of his mom's cigarettes and threw the pack down on the goddamn table outside. Said, we have reason to believe you were fondling Olivia. Boy, I'll tell you what, talk about fucking incredible. And I knew who it was. It was Greg. I mean, I knew that it was Greg. I mean, that's just how that was. But it was one of the most terrible times of my whole entire fucking put together. So I've been through a lot, you know. I've been through a lot. Boy, I've been through World War X. That stupid fucking... And Candace, too, you know. Here she is, a goddamn... She's fucking works at Boeing, although she's a drunk. I mean, she drinks an 18-pack a night. That's a heavy hitter. If you're drinking an 18-pack of Coors Light and smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes a night, you're a heavy hitter. I couldn't keep up with her. There's no way, shape, or form that I could keep up with her. Thank God she drank at home. That relationship would have been even shorter than the 15 months that it was. But, so, when I would go there, and like I said, I think it'd be Thursday, so every Friday afternoon, Thursday and Friday, Olivia would be there. And that goddamn... I mean, all of this would be quick, because she wouldn't be there long. She'd be there like an hour and a half. Maybe an hour and 45 minutes. Maybe 2 hours. But everybody would be there. I would have just gotten there or off work, ditto, because I went to work right after I got there. And I would always we'd have three things that we'd do, and I'd sit at the kitchen table, and we'd either play with Play-Doh, we'd either finger paint, or we'd either color. We had three things. And it's funny how Olivia would kind of Greg would call for Olivia from upstairs. Greg would be upstairs. And so Olivia would go upstairs, and then a little while later, Candace would be in the kitchen. Seemed like all the time, repetition here. And Olivia would go and hold on to Grandma's thigh, little tiny Olivia, and say, "Grandma, can I take a bath?" And Greg would be up there. And after a while, I could just feel that Greg sent her on the mission. Greg sent her on the goddamn mission. And he's waiting for the response. And it was going to be yes. And away, Candace would say, "Is Greg going to watch you?" And Greg's, "Yeah, I'll watch her." And Olivia would go upstairs, and Greg, the 58-year-old Greg, and the 4-year-old Olivia would go into the bathroom, and the door would shut. And that was the weirdest fucking thing to me. Really fucking weird. Really, that geek. Well, here's what he would do. I mean, there's more to that. You got to flavor it. You got to really know a lot of the little tiny details. When they would leave, when Olivia's mom would come to pick her up, and they would leave, and we'd all be saying our goodbyes to Olivia, Greg would say to Olivia, "No, Olivia, remember we talked about this. No, you don't kiss like that. You kiss me like this." He made her kiss him on the lips. He was like infatuated with that little girl. So anyway, I don't know. That was really a hard thing for me. Really a bad part of my life. Boy, I'll tell you what, here I was, gonna be the power that would frickin' set Olivia off on the right foot, Well, the greatest thing in the world for me is that Rita's death, Candace said, "Lynn, I have counseling. I mean, I have access to counseling. I want you to use it because I like to use every benefit that they give me. So why don't we go to counseling to help you get over Rita?" Well, fuck me. It was more so I didn't know what was worse, Rita's death or the accusation of Olivia. If you can fucking believe that. I mean, that was fucking wild shit. I'll tell you, that was some heavy goddamn shit. And I knew, it's like here. It's like if Kelly and Terry if me and Kelly and Terry decided to say that Chuck shot a albino elephant in Topeka, I mean, whatever. You get enough people that are against you and go against you, and I'll tell you what, that's where false accusation, that's where people go to prison and shit for doing something that they didn't do, So I was nervous as a whore in fucking church because I knew that there was a whole bunch of people that didn't like me because I didn't want the freeloaders living in my new house. And it wasn't mine. It wasn't about money. It was about the fact that, holy shit, oh dear, I had no idea that this is the way this was. God, I'd buy 2 steaks for Candace and I, brand new newlyweds. And I'd buy them and bring them home, and Candace had a way oversized house. It was built very well. Really, really, really well. You could have 37 people in the bedroom having a party, and you'd never know it down in the kitchen. It was just crazy. I'd buy 2 steaks for Candace, and here one would appear, a brother. I'd have him at the sink seasoning the meat, because Candace is due home, and I wanted the meat to sit with the seasoning. And it's like one would appear, Greg would appear, then Andy would appear, then Connie would appear. Fuck, I should have bought 6 steaks. I only bought 2 for Candace and I. You know, I mean, he's fucking free. And then they'd have to cook. They're in there cooking. I mean, it just was a fucking bombardment of craziness. Really crazy. So anyway, Candace thought I should go to counseling, and I'm glad I had my wits about me, because I thought, you know what? We're going to fucking use that counselor, and it isn't going to be about Rita's death. We're going to bring everything wide open, and I knew I'd do this too. I'd bring my phone and record the whole fucking deal, and I'd make the son of a bitch drive right towards the Olivia deal, and I did. You know, I did. I mean, it was the greatest thing in the world, because Candace knew top to bottom, inside and out, that I would never even consider anything yucky with Olivia. But that was a good thing, you know. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't long after that I was down the road gone. It's like, holy oh fuck oh dear, you know, Jesus Christ almighty, this is fucking dog shit here, you know. So there was an opportunity there, but there wasn't, you know. There were so many parts to that didn't work. I mean, you think about Candace, holy motherfucker. Like I said, if she would have fucking drank at the bar, we never would have made it, not even one night. Thank God she sat in the garage and drank and read her book and smoked cigarettes all night. You know, or that would never, but nonetheless, even then, it was too much. The drinking was way too much for me. Fuck, oh dear. And she's kind of a bitch, you know. She wouldn't never really talk to me. She wouldn't talk to me until she had 8 or 10 beers in her. So that, and then all of her family living there at the house, and then God freaking forbid that Olivia deal. Yeah, that relationship, that marriage lasted 15 months, boy. Toughest time of my life. The only thing that I say that did for me, you know, the road goes down a path that it's a mystery path. Mysterious path, I should say, but it did afford me the ability to be with Mark for the last 2 years he is living. You know, you got to find something positive in everything. And yeah. Oh, so now here I am with the 3 of these assholes, and I should have known, you know, Kelly and Chuck. I mean, I always say the good ones died, and that's so fucking true. It's insane. You know, I should have known. I should have been trembling in fear the minute Rita and Mark died, knowing that I'd be shackled with Kelly and Chuck. For me, no chance. There's no chance. You know, they would fucking de-head me. You know, they'd debone me, and they have been deboning me. And this summer, I finally had to fucking kick Kelly out of my house. And I always say that, and then I think if I was telling a stranger that, they'd think that I was talking about at 1:30 in the morning after we got drunker than a pig. Fuck me. It was 11:30 in the afternoon. Kelly showed up in his company pickup to instruct me on working at Terry's cabin, not knowing that I worked 7 days a fucking week at that time. So, yeah, it's been a full motherfucker for me. Been a toughie. Been a real toughie. You know, I hope things stabilize. It's a mystery to me why I always say the law of averages, and I'll get through. But holy shit, I've been pounded like a bitch, you know. So I just hope everything will somehow simmer out and the rest of my life will be decent. I certainly don't ask for much, you know. I'm at Luciano's now. This is Lucky Luciano's second cousin's house, and he is a little feisty. And there's a lot more to the story of this guy, the crazy story that is in other videos. But I thought I'd shoot this video for the day. I'm just going to convert his water to the backyard. There's a little jimmy rigging I have to do in the back. That's a swimming pool, indoor pool. He used to have the whole freaking thing going on here. But Anyway, for now, I'm going to run and get that water lined out so I can head for Kalispell. Have a good day. Bye-bye.